mic in the wrong place. Let me sort that out. So, hello. Today we are going to be looking at the new Inkarnate update. If you haven't seen it yet, the ships and water update has, well, it's entered exactly what it says. Ships and water type stuff into their stamps. So you're now able to make a ship, and it's also added water life like turtles and sharks and stuff like that, so you can add a bit of marine life to your water. It's added the ability to put waves and stuff like that. So we're gonna make a map with all of that stuff and see what we can do and if we like it. Just in case you don't know who I am Shrike. I upload here on YouTube twice a week all D&D content, and I like to stream every Wednesday so that you can come along and have a chat with me, and while we're chatting I'll do something like this. So let me just make sure everything is okay with the stream before I'm going to flip it over to Inkarnate. Let's do that now, in fact. There we go. So, in case you've never used Inkarnate before, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to go into the stamps, and I've already got them all. Let's just get rid of these ones. These are custom ones I added, but other than that, the rest of this is all of the water stuff they have added. So let's have a look through first before we actually start making a map. So you can see there's all different kinds of coral and plants and stuff like that, and they have recently, not in this update but in a previous update, they've added some more blend modes. So hopefully you can get the sense that these are underwater by using the blend mode, as well as making these a little bit see-through. So we'll see how well that works out. They've added some wildlife, so there's some different types of turtles here. There's some shells, fish. Oh, they've got some seagulls as well, because they're always on the water. Not sure, is that a shark? That's a bit of a weird looking shark, but that's a shark and a dolphin and a killer whale. Cool. And then yeah, they've got a series of waves that you can add as well to give your map a little bit more depth. So there's a few different styles of that, and then they have got this whirlpool here as well. And I'm interested to see how well this works, because if you've used the battle map creator for Inkarnate before, you'll know that they still don't have a wall tool. So in pretty much every other battle map creator, you can just click and drag your mouse exactly where you want the wall, and it will outline it and it will draw a wall there. But in Inkarnate, you have to actually select a bit of wall, place it where you want it, and then select the next bit of wall, place it where you want it, which is a little bit annoying, and I feel like it's going to be even more annoying when putting together a ship. It's just a bit tedious. But they have also added some ready-made ships that we'll look at as well, so you can see all of these. I actually like that they've just given you the outline as well, so you can put different flooring in if you didn't want it to be that type of wooden floor, which is nice. And then yeah, they've got all the different aspects that so you can add some stairs and stuff like that onto your ships, and doors. Oh, they've got some little windows you can put on there as well, which are lit or not lit, which is quite a nice addition. And then they've got the sails, because you know, can't have a ship without sails. So you got to have them, and some masts here as well. And then they've got the ship figureheads here. So they've got a few of them. They got 3 different variations, in fact, which is nice. That's not too bad to give you 3 on the offset. Hopefully they're going to add more stuff to this as well. They got cannons, so they've got just the half cannon. So if you're putting the cannon below deck, you can just put this sticking out of the side of the ship, or they have these to be above deck as well. And then they have the cannonballs. Are these singular cannonballs here? I think they are. So you can put singular cannonballs in different styles of crates if you want. Hammock. And then yeah, they've got some just nice additions with ropes and anchors and stuff like that. And then they've got some wrecked rowing boats as well to add. Just going to quickly check through this little list here, make sure I've definitely clicked all of the ones related to watery type stuff and ships. looks like I have. So they got the composite ships, which are the ready-made ones there. Ship broken. And they've got water up here. So we've got all of them selected, and we're going to be using more. Oh, I didn't even realize I'd selected that. Is that an airship or something? Right, so let's start with one of these and see how. Oh, let's got what the shortcut is. It's S and W. So let's put that to the right size. Let's make it diagonal. So this is one of these ships which is ready-made. So let's put it like that. And let's just zoom in and see it for a second. So it's got that figurehead on the front. So if you're using these ready-made ones, you obviously can't choose different styles. But let's use this for the moment and then see what we can do with the water first off, shall we? So, what am I doing? So I need to go to background. Where's background? Here it is. And then I'm just going to select the whole map. And then we're going to go to brush options and we're going to put in water. Let's apply it. There it is. That water's quite harsh actually, isn't it? Let's oh, I missed a little sliver out at the bottom there as well. So maybe let's change that to that one. Yeah, that's a bit less harsh. So the first thing I want to try out then is the waves. So let's see what adding some waves looks like. So what I want to do first up is add some waves along the side of the ship. Okay, so let's move it down. There we go. So if we put some waves along the side of the ship, that should hopefully give it the impression of it moving along. And if we put one right at the front there as well. Maybe just turn it in a bit. Like that, and then let's use a different kind as well. Make sure to put it at the back. So you can see by adding some waves along the side, it gives it the impression that it's moving along. And then I always like to put some along the bottom here as well, right at the back behind it. Like so. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. And then we can, there you go, just like that. And then let's use some of this as well. Haven't used that. Okay, I don't really like the look of that one actually. After saying let's use some of that. No, let's get rid of that one. And let's go back to using some of this one. So let's put it to the bottom layer. Start at the front. And then let's put some on the side here as well. Maybe if we make some a bit smaller, in fact, they're quite large, I've put there. There you go. Okay, so that gives the ship it makes it look like it's moving a bit. So let's go back into the wave options and let's pick some of these waves up. And then these ones we are going to put in the water a bit. That looks a bit straight. Oh, are these actually specific ones you're supposed to put at the back of the ship by the looks of it? Okay, so it looks like there are some specific ones that I didn't use that you're supposed to use to put at the back of the ship. But we are gonna just chuck some of these down a little bit smaller to give the water along the side a little bit of depth. You can put on the random stamps here and then stamp around, and it's going to change the style and the size as well to make it look a little bit more natural. So I think let's put some out here as well. Okay, I think that'll do. So let's chuck in some marine life as well. So if we chuck in this dolphin, let's make it swimming along the side of the ship. And then what I want to do, I want to move down a layer to make sure it's underneath that wave. And then there is, I think it's screen. Yeah, so the blend mode screen makes it roughly the same color as the background. So you can go to screen and then you can use the opacity to just put it down. And yeah, that looks pretty good actually. So it now looks like it's a little bit under the water. I might even put it down a little bit further. And then let's put another one as, in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste that one so we don't have to redo the blend mode, but we're going to make this one a little bit smaller to make it look like it's and then maybe even a little bit lower on the opacity. And then hopefully maybe a little bit up. That's going to look like it's a bit deeper to give the water even more depth. Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. So that is pretty good. I think also putting it under one of these gives it a little bit more depth as well. So we've got two little dolphins swimming along together, which is nice. Let's see what other wildlife. So maybe let's chuck in, let's see how the coral works, shall we? So let's use this one. So if I put one in, change the blend mode to screen, it's gonna add a bit of thing. Put that, maybe let's put it to 0.5. What do you think of that? Does that look good enough? Let's put one of these down as well. So I'm not sure if there's a way actually to make the blend mode go to everyone that you're clicking, or you just have to do this every time, which is a little bit of a pain. Chuck some of these in as well. You see what I mean about that it changes the color of the stamp a little bit to blend it in, so you can see. Let's put one here and then that'll be done with that, and then let's have a little look. Oh, wrong thing. So yeah, you can see the dolphins here look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. Really, you want to, if you're adding plant life like this below the water, you probably want to spend some time on it properly. Just throwing them about like this probably doesn't look too great, but if you make like clusters of them in places, it would look quite nice. But I think adding that blend mode where it adds the colouring of the background is pretty good, and it looks pretty nice to me. Okay, let's look at what other stamps they've added then. So we've added waves, some plants, and some dolphins. So let's add, oh, still on the opacity. So that is a different drawing style to the boat that has been made. But let's put it at the back. like a little escape boat. Let's put it down a layer. I like the idea that you can actually walk out of the captain's quarter and there's like a little balcony here. The captain can then get onto his own little private rowing boat. So we're going to leave that there. So it's sticking out a little bit, but not too much. So the players know that there is a little boat there. And then let's go and add some cannons below deck, shall we, and see how they look. So we're going to need to move a little bit bigger. Okay. I think they're rough, but they're about the right angle. Let's add 4 this side. Let's make sure they're evenly spread out as well, because they're a bit close. Right, so that's pretty good actually. I like they've added the option to just have the end rather than you having to use this and position it just right with layers to cut off the rest of it. That's quite nice. Are any of these below deck? Don't think they are they? I guess that's what these bits are for, so you can use them for below deck as well. So you could... Yeah, so it looks like it's a little hollowed out version of the ship that you can then use below deck. Let's see what the whirlpool looks like. Let's put it down here. Blend mode screen. Oh. Pretty good looking whirlpool as well, and that's without changing the opacity. Oh. That's without changing the opacity as well, so let's move that down to a bit. Yeah, I quite like the look of that actually. A good whirlpool, so you could make a whole map, a whole sea map out of that whirlpool. You could just have a giant whirlpool and the ships going around it and having to navigate it, which is quite nice. Okay, so I think this map I just wanted to see what one of the main ones looked like and how you could use the waves and underneath stuff to give it a bit of depth, and I'm pretty happy with that actually. You could even give these waves a bit of opacity on the side to make them a little bit less harsh. So let's save that. Let's call it Sea Map 1. Very original, I know. And then I want to see what actually creating your own ship is like. So let's go and go to my maps. So here's a few of the maps I've made recently. Create a new map, fantasy. Let's go digital landscape. And then let's make sure, so untick all of them and just tick water, ship, broken ship, composite ship. Oh, I've missed one. Oh no, I just had expanded them all before. Okay, so let's think about how... See, this is the problem with not having a draw tool. I'm having to think about which one of these I want to use. I'm not even sure what this one's for. It seems to be cut off either side, which is a bit strange. So I guess if we start with the front of the ship. I can't even see one that would be good for the front of the ship. Am I being blind? No, can't see one that's being... Unless you're supposed to use these. So I wonder if you're supposed to use these and do them like this. No, surely not. Surely you're not supposed to do this because that looks ants. Maybe this one? Can you flip it? Oh, you can't even flip it. Why can't you flip it? Ah. So this one you're supposed to use them. It's just so fiddly. That's not the right shape, is it? So, must be a different one. Even that's not the right shape, is it? That looks like it might be the right shape for the front, though. But you can't flip it. Randomize angle. Right. Okay, so I want this one, but flipped. But there isn't a flip option for this. Is there a shortcut to flip? Doesn't look like it, does it? Okay. I have no idea how you make a ship on this then. Which isn't good. I make quite a lot of maps and I can't work it out. So either there's something I'm completely missing of how you'd make a front of a ship out of these walls, or they have not made it very intuitive, which is not good for them. Okay, well, let's delete all of that. Delete it all. Go back into the stamps. And maybe let's just pick one of these out lines instead. And start from there. So looking at the front of that boat, there must have been a way to do that. I just couldn't work out how to flip it. Anyway, okay, so let's make this ship then. Oh. So let's go to the background. Let's select the whole area and chuck water in it first off. Okay, and then in the foreground, we want wooden floor. See what this looks like first, shall we? Let's have a look at the other wooden floor option, which is this one. Or ship floor. That's probably the one we want. Don't know why I'm using that. Where's the softness? There you go. Doesn't look that great though, does it really? I guess it doesn't look too bad. Let's see if there's any other options. Maybe the darker one will look better. Let's see what that looks like. We got... I think I actually prefer the wooden floor to the ship wooden floor, but let's try the dark one just in case that makes it look a bit better. Not really, does it? I guess that's not too bad. Let's stick with that for the bottom of the ship. Okay, so now let's go and place some bits and bobs in the bottom of the ship. So the first thing that you should have on your ship is always the cannon. There's the cannon. There's the cannons. Oh, how am I gonna... Don't think you can make them... Because there's no windows, it's just gonna go over the top like that. And then if I move it down a layer, that also looks weird. So maybe you'll have to have your cannon sat like that and just explain to your players I think you're just going to have them sat like that and explain to your players that that's where the windows are and they're not actually going to shoot the side of their own ship. So I am going to lock the boat so I can't... Oh, I was just about to say so I can't move it. There you go. And then if we copy and paste them, flip them so they're the other way around. Chuck them there. Let's move up the layer as well. Okay, so we've got our cannons. So next up we need some cannonballs. So they've got some of these, which I think I am just gonna place and rotate. And put them right there. Copy and paste. Put one next to each cannon. So the gun monkey can have their own stash of cannonballs. And we're going to go up a bit. Do the same up here. There we go. Right. So. Okay, so we got our cannons and our cannonballs. So the next thing is we're going to add some ropes. In fact, what we're going to do first is we're going to just select them all. And then we're going to put in some crates, because crates are always good to put in. So let's chuck some crates at the front of the ship. So let's do that. And then what I think I'm going to do actually is if I put right there, and then I'm going to make sure this crate's on top. There you go, adds a little bit of depth. I'm going to move them all a little bit closer there. And then we're going to chuck a rope on top. Smooth that up. In fact, let's put a rope on one of these. There you go. And I think, yeah, adds a bit of depth. Okay, so let's now chuck some more crates in. So there, in fact, let's put some big metal crates. Put one up here. How can I make it bigger? Let's chuck it. One of them. There. Oh, to do that, and then I might, in fact, literally just copy and paste this, chuck it here, but then just move the order about a little bit. So let's chuck this one on top instead, and chuck that one just there like so, a bit off kilter, because people on boats aren't very organized most of the time. What other crates do they have? So they have this type of crate. They have a slightly open crate. They have a completely open crate. So let's chuck these together. As well, like so. What type of, do they have any other type of whips? So yeah, let's use this one. Okay, let's also find some barrels. You never know what to put in your maps. Generally, crates and barrels are a good place to start. Right, let's chuck some barrels here as well. Let's do a little go, and then let's also put a type of rope on top, maybe one we haven't used yet. Let's go for this on top of that barrel there. I guess we could have did that on accident, but I guess we could have rope next to these now. Oh, could you actually connect it up here and make it look like a fuse? No, not really. It doesn't look that great. Okay, so got some crates, we got some barrels. I'm actually just gonna copy, paste, chuck them over there as well. What else does the ship need? What is on a ship? I guess you could put walls and doors up here as well. I don't think we're going to do that for this map though. So let's go to, let's uncheck all this and go to the ship. See what they suggest putting. Oh, there could be a grate to an even lower deck. I think generally the grates go on the top deck though, so we won't put that. There's an anchor. Once again, don't think that usually goes there. Okay, they don't really have much ship stuff to put there. So let's just click them all and let's have a little scroll through. Sometimes when you're building a map, you need to have a little look through for some inspiration. Don't think rocks would make sense. You got all this tableware kind of stuff, so if you wanted a table You put that there. You got a few ladders. We've already done some barrels and some crates. Oh, you got this style of trapdoor as well that you can chuck in there. Could have wall sconces. I'm sure they are playing cards. Really? Okay. They don't look like playing cards to me, but sure. Oh yeah, you could have like a tattered rug of some variety. You could use these as, they're supposed to be tattered curtains on a window, but you could use that for like a really tattered flag. Like that one looks like it could be a really old, like a skeleton ship style flag as well. Some magic stuff, alchemy, magic circles. Got quite a lot of stamps for you to play with and make your maps with. I'm still not using Inkarnate as my main map maker purely because of the wall making tool. The wall making tool, or the lack of wall making tool, is very problematic when you're making maps that have buildings and stuff like that. It's fine if you are just making like a woodland or a forest. It's not too bad, but yeah, if you're making a city street or something like that, which is what I'm making a lot of at the moment, if there's no sort of wall tool, it makes it very difficult. I'm wondering if any of this steampunk stuff, you could in theory use this to make like a steampunky style ship, which could be quite cool, especially if you're playing it in a place like Eberron. That'd be quite nice. I was wondering if they added any ship ones of these, but it doesn't look like they have, does it? Okay, doesn't look like there's anything really. It's a pretty basic ship, but it is a ship. Oh, is a ship nonetheless. Let's do what we did on the last one by adding in some water waves and stuff like that. So let's check some. Oh. Okay, gonna zoom in. Chuck some waves along the side of the ship. Just like that. Other side as well. Cool. Add some little ones along the edges, just to make it look like it is moving. Like so. Oh, too much on that one. And then let's use the specific one for the back this time. There we go. I think we need one more of the harsher ones alongside. Yeah. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe a smaller one. And then let's put one more up there, and that should be enough to make the ship look like it's moving a bit. Right, and then let's go back to the stamp tool and let's chuck some, let's randomize these stamps, make them a little bit smaller, and chuck them all about the place a bit. Like so, and then we're gonna let's chuck a shark in there this time. Let's make it, yeah, let's make it about that size. Screen effect, opacity down. Beautiful. And then let's also do a little school of fish that it's about to eat. Oh, they're pretty big fish actually if they're that size, so let's put that there. Perfect. What else do they have here? They have a little sea snake, that's cool. So they have individual fish. They got a killer whale. What would that? Scary. And then let's chuck some dolphin at the back there as well. Let's do what we did last time. So make that one smaller and more opaque. And then put the screen blend mode on top of them. So that's just gone below the ship. Swimming out the other side, a nice little killer whale up there and a shark. Let's see what it would look like with a different shade of yeah, I don't really like those shades. I think the one that we were on was probably the best one. This one, although this one would be good if you were making like a nighttime map for your sea. I think that's all the water. Oh no, they do have. Let's try this one. Oh wow. Is there a way to make that less harsh, or is it just you get what you get? Yeah, that's pretty horrible, isn't it? Let's try some of the other ones just in case. No, thank you. Okay, so yeah, they're all pretty horrible water effects. So the one we had is probably the best. Cool. Okay, so we've added some wave effects, we've added some wildlife into the water. Let's add some, yeah, let's add some plants. Let's do, what we're gonna do, we're gonna make it a lot smaller than that. We're gonna randomize the stamps. And we're just gonna put some random ones around in a little cluster. And then we'll select them all and chuck the screen overlay on them. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay, so it does add a little bit to the map, like a little bit of depth. You can see the wildlife right at the bottom there. And that was me just not really thinking about placement and just chucking it down. And that's with the pretty disgusting plants as well. There's some better versions. There's some crazy cool here. Let's put on some of this blue stuff, for example. Let's put a little cluster up here. Oh, I've got the random stamps. Let's just do a little cluster of this blue coal. In fact, let's put in some red on it as well. Oh, skin, random stamps, not perfect. And then if I select them all, sorry about that, I couldn't work out how to mute my mic quick enough. Okay, so if I select them all, I'm going to select this, so let me just quickly lock that. If I select them all, chuck on the screen blend. That looks a bit weird. If you're going for tropical though, that could definitely look like tropical. Whereas if you were just going for open seas, then maybe you'd use something like that. Let's see what other types of plant they have. So this one will probably go well with the open seas. And then you've also got this for the coral. All of these for the coral. If you chucked in some shells as well, might be quite nice. Some starfish. It's a little bit annoying they haven't added flying seagull, because that could be quite a nice addition to the map to add verticality above the ship as well as below it. Let's see what this sea snake looks like, so let's put it all the way up. So you could definitely use that as a sea monster rather than a sea snake. Right. Look at that. You could definitely have that as some sort of sea monster, sea serpent that comes and attacks the boat. We got our killer whale up there for reference of how big that could be as well. Let's see. I guess you could do that with any of these though. You could have a giant seagull if you wanted. Or you could just chuck a seagull. Make it... Oh no, that one doesn't look as good when it's big. That's it for the animals. So let's have a look at that map again then. So yeah, that could be a nice little, let's save it. And let's put that as C map 2. Very original. So let's go back to the other map we had of the top of the ship. And see what the difference between the two is. Let's see what the two look like. So let's go return to your maps. So you can see here. So I think I added a bit more to this. So let's go back to my maps and edit that one. And then let's flip between the two and see what we think, shall we? Now I've done two different stars. So this one has a lot more harsher waves at the back there. I think I quite like this, having one harsh wave here and then two subtle waves in the middle. This one had really random plants all over the place because I was just testing them out. I like this flooring better than this. Although this probably works with like a smaller, not as noble ship, whereas this has a figurehead at the front there, so it's pretty important ship, and it's much bigger as well. This is only a little ship, so maybe this flooring does make sense for that kind of ship. Right, so So what do we think? I think adding these clusters of plants as well, this little school of fish, helps with depth quite a lot. Just chucking them all over randomly looks a bit pants on that one. Yeah, all in all, pretty nice. So I think if I go back to my maps, you can explore and we can see what other people have done. So this is interesting that a lot of the ships people have made are very thin, and I think that's because of the walls people were given. So this water that they're using here I just don't like it. It's just not very good. And then these people who have made, Sir Calvin has added a lot of waves into the water here, which is quite a nice effect if you were going through a rough water. Let's view this map. So yeah, that's quite nice if they're going through a rough one. I don't like how he's done this bit of water along the sides though. All of these you can go into and download as well. So this is, someone seems to have done a sunken ship using the walls just poking out the top, which is pretty cool. Just off the shore of this cliff here. It's a shame they use that type of water though, because that type of water isn't great. I like this Viking longboat though, that looks pretty cool. That must have taken some time to get right. That's that Calvin as well. Good job, Calvin. Have a little ship there. I'm trying to see if people have done something I've missed, i.e. some sort of technique, but I don't think so. I think they've all just added some waves, added some life underneath, and used the blend mode and opacity. That looks quite good actually, a shark following a few larger fish there as well. Yeah, I really don't like this type of water. I think it's a bit too much. It's a bit too harsh on the eyes. This is interesting though, because it looks like it's is it an undead ship or is it an abandoned ship? Or is there skeletons and moss all over it? Oh yeah, skeleton ship. So they've just chucked some skeletons on there as well. That's pretty cool. That just caught my eye. That's nothing to do with ships. Well, let's have a look at this one. So this is when they've docked up on the near the beach. It's a killer whale apparently. That's problematic. So how have they done this? Okay, so they've just added... Is that an octopus? I didn't see an octopus stamp in there. But that's pretty good how they've done that. And also that. So that adds even more depth. If you can make little... Especially for coral reef, you could make... Using the cliffside, you could make a little up a bit and then a lower bit. And then the sea floor down below. And they've also managed to blend in the water here. So they've used the waves, but that looks like a different colour. Not sure how they've done that. Looks pretty nice though. A lot of time spent to make that one, I'm sure. So, I think that is... Oh, what's this? What the hell is that? That's some That's awesome. Mining, a little mining machine. Well, I think we have pretty much looked at every ship in the little explore area. I wanted to see what some other people were doing, just in case there was something like the cliffs I hadn't thought of ways to make your map a little bit better. I hope this has helped. I hope you now know if you want to go and get Inkarnate. If you haven't already, you can go over to their website and pick it up. It's a pretty nice tool. As I said earlier,